Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to Sunday Dinner with Miss Vickie B. Today I'm making some barbecue pork chops in the crock pot. I think I'm gonna cut this corn off the cob and make some fried corn. And I'm just gonna open up this can of baked beans. We love these baked beans. And we love this pasta salad. So I'm gonna make that today too. And that's gonna be our dinner. So I hope you enjoy the video. I'm gonna get these pork chops started in the crock pot. I'm just gonna put 4 in here. That'll be enough for 2 nights of supper for me and Tony. There's 4 boneless pork chops is what these are. And I'm gonna end up putting some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on them later when they're almost done. But for right now, I'm just gonna put some pepper on top of these. Then I'm gonna put some of this Nature Seasoning blend on here. I'm pretty sure it's got salt, pepper, like garlic powder, onion powder, different types of seasonings in there. So that's the only one I'm gonna use other than pepper. And then I'm gonna flip my pork chops and I'm gonna put a little bit more pepper on the other side just for flavor. I don't wanna get them too spicy. And then I'm gonna put a little bit more of this Nature's Seasoning on there. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of water just to keep it from sticking to the bottom. I think just probably about 1/4 of a cup will be good enough. I'm gonna add that in there and then I'm gonna put the lid on it. I'm gonna set it on high and let the crock pot do its thing for a couple of hours. And then I'll check on it, and if it's cooking too fast, I can always turn it down on low later. Okay, now I'm just going to add some of this Sweet Baby Ray's and brush that on the pork chops, and then I'm going to turn the crock pot down on low and let it cook for a little longer with the barbecue sauce on it. All right, they're looking good. So at this point, I'm just gonna turn my crock pot on warm until the other things get ready. Right here, I'm just getting my water started for my pasta. Had to switch burners and get my husband to put the fan in the window. I'm just now salting my pasta water because, I don't know, something must have got in that burner, a piece of food or something, and I didn't realize it, and it got the whole kitchen super smoky, and it ended up getting the rest of the house smoky too because I had my back turned and didn't realize it until I turned around. I'm just going to add my stick of butter to this other pan here. It's not a full stick, it's probably almost 3/4 of a stick for my fried corn, and get that melting. Now it's time to cut the corn off of the cob, and I learned this little trick watching Rachel Ray. I used to love watching Rachel Ray 30-minute meals. We watched it all the time back in the day. But she would always flip a smaller bowl upside down inside the larger bowl to cut the corn off the cob on top of. And it really does help out instead of trying to hold it in the bottom of that bowl. But still, as always, corn still flies everywhere. I had some red, yellow, and orange bell pepper left over from another recipe, so I decided to use just a little bit of that in my corn to give it some extra flavor. So I'm going to chop this up really tiny into the corn. Okay, my butter's almost melted and I've already poured the pasta into this pan. So I'm just going to turn the burner down for the pasta on medium and stir it so it don't stick. Now comes the easy part. Just open up this can of baked beans for today. Put them in a bowl and heat them in the microwave. If we was making something like Boston butt, I would also add some meat to it and maybe even some onions or peppers. But we're just going to go plain Jane today. These are good with or without add-ins. Just giving this pasta a quick stir. And then I'm going to add my corn into this pan with the melted butter. And now it's time to season. I'm going to add this Mrs. Dash table blend to the corn. I'm also adding some pepper. You'll notice I don't add in as much salt on very many things because my husband does have high blood pressure and he don't even like salt. He never has. So I try to go with other types of seasonings instead of salt most of the time. I do love salt though. I'm going to go ahead and add this paprika. And the last thing I'm going to add to this corn is some parsley flakes. And then we're just going to stir it all up. way I do my corn is I let it cook until it gets a little sticky to the pan. I keep stirring it randomly, but you want that stickiness underneath, and that's when you know it's frying, but you don't want it to stick too much and you don't want it to burn. Okay, now I'm going to use some mayonnaise and then mix in this seasoning pack that came with the pasta salad. I think it might call for a half a cup, but I just kind of eyeball it. I might have put just a tad bit too little this time, but mayonnaise is not my favorite thing. I don't eat it on sandwiches or anything. The only thing I eat it in is like tuna fish, pasta salad, and potato salad and things like that. So as long as it's got something to season it, like this package of seasoning here, then I'm okay with it. Giving this pasta one last stir, and I think it's just about ready. So what I do is I pour it into a strainer, and I just rinse it with cold water for a little bit because pasta salad is supposed to be cold. And I don't always have time to stick it in the fridge for a little while, so I just rinse it with cold water. I'm going to go ahead and give this corn one last stir too, and it is done. And now it's time just to get the food plated. Hope y'all enjoyed this week's Sunday dinner with Miss Vickie B. Come back for next week's video, and I'll see you then. Hope you have a good day.